All right, we are recording. Uh, Hello, I am today with Jamal Fox. Jamal, I'm very excited to say, is our newest city administrator. Welcome, Jamal. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for having me, Mayor.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here. This has been a very long process. We started the process early January and have been filtering through. I think we ended up with 67 candidates. We worked down through them with the council to four. Last week we were able to meet everyone in person, and I was able to finalize the decision, which was a very difficult decision. But I cannot be more excited to have you join in Camas, Jamal. Um, and I think the process that I went through was really going back to what I ran on my campaign, which was around land, people, and honesty, and really putting that lens through each of the candidates and understanding how helpful they can be for me and the city in order driving those results and making those things happen. When it comes to the land, making sure that we as a community understand and participating in what that community is going to look like in 20 years, in 40 years, what it's physically going to look like, the buildings, how we're going to interact, what we value is important. We had a chance earlier this year to do a think tank at the library, and the parks, the nature, these were the things that we value, and these are the things that I want to make ensure that we are protecting as well, and we have strong plans around that. And I think the other aspect of as well is being able to leverage some of the state support, some of the county support with our lakes. Right now, we've got some challenges there, and we need to be able to get some of the resources to kind of expedite some of those things, so that we can maintain the beauty that we have here. The second aspect was people. You know, I was frustrated there wasn't enough people stepping up in order to get involved. And we had an election, we didn't have any candidates. We only had one person, but we didn't have people that were willing to step up. And I recognized that I can't be frustrated at other people if I'm not willing to do it myself. And that's something that, again, I think is extremely important for a community to work, is that we have to have people that are willing to step up into leadership positions, take accountability, and take on some of the challenges. And at the same time, I think we need a community that when we elect individuals in these positions, that we're helping support those individuals. And I think that is that is something that's how the system works. And I think it's an important aspect as well to help educate the community as far as how government works, how the processes work. It was something that I was naive to before. I didn't understand how a lot of the processes work. The last few months has been quite a whirlwind for many different reasons, but the more I understand, the more I realize how important it is that everyone else understands as well, so that we can make the system work. And then the last aspect was honesty. And 2020 has been quite a year for many different reasons. It's one that we've become a lot more divisive. It's become a lot more challenging. And I think social media has played a factor in that as well. And it's very important that we're able to talk. It's very important that we're able to have honest conversations. It's very important to me that we're able to approach conversations with an open mind, and interact in a very respectful way, that we can actually accomplish things. And I think that's an aspect that I think that makes Camas strong as well, is that the fact that I want to be able to talk through any of the situations that we have in a way that actually gets some resolution and moves forward. And again, it was very challenging as I went through all the different candidates and the different assets that each person brought, the energy and the environment. Again, I think this position certainly sets the tone as well for the entire city, and I want one where we're having fun, one that we're working together, that we're cohesive, that we're able to talk through situations, and that we're addressing the big problems. And it was very clear to me once I got a chance to really get to know you, that together I think that we're going to be able to do some very big and great things. I'm going to stop talking a little bit now, because I do want to, this is about you and this is not about me, but I do want to I just wanted to point out, two things that I thought really kind of summed up, I guess, you as well, very well. One was a reference from Rashad Young, who is the District of Columbia City Administrator. And this is what he said about you, Jamal. I don't even know if I read this to you, but I met Jamal in 2009. I was a city manager in Greensboro, North Carolina. This is a great story. He was a manager at the Walgreens at the time. I had just arrived in Greensboro to take the job, and I stopped at this Walgreens. Jamal came up to me and said he had seen me in the paper and told me he was a student obtaining his political science degree. I was impressed that he knew who I was, and we ended up having a good conversation. I hired him as an intern. We then put him in a full-time position. He was teaching and he was elected as a city councilor. I was no longer city manager when he was a council member. And you actually are the youngest ever elected city council member in North Carolina's history. Is that right?
Well, in the city of Greensboro.
City of Greensboro. And how many people are in the city of Greensboro?
About 300,000.
And again, for me, that story just really resonated in the sense that, one, you had a vision very early on in what you wanted to do and who you wanted to be. And when an opportunity presented itself, you were ready to jump on it. You were ready to take advantage of it. And I think a lot of life is about being timing and being ready for certain, opportunities or situations. And that really spoke to me as a whole. And, I think the other thing was I was just excited about was when we talked a lot and we went into lots of different things. We talked about jiu-jitsu, and then you came back and you said, hey, I want to do jiu-jitsu as well. And that made me very excited. Just the open-mindedness and the approach. And I genuinely am just excited to work with you. I'm excited to take on some of these challenges. I'm excited to help get the community together, help bring the community together so that we can work together to solve some of these problems and create a vision for the future. So with that, I'm going to stop talking. I've already said I'm going to stop talking, but I guess I have some questions here for you. So one, I kind of jumped into a little bit. I gave a little bit of a teaser there as far as your background, but can you talk a little bit more about your background and more about you?
Sure. Thank you for the question, Mayor. A little bit about me. I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia. That's where I was born. My father was, he worked in construction. My mother is a veteran. She served in the Army. I grew up there, moved to North Carolina, moved to Greensboro. And in Greensboro, I worked at Walgreens for many years. While I was working at Walgreens, you provided a little teaser, Mayor. I met Rashad there at the Walgreens while I was pursuing my political science degree. I went on to graduating from North Carolina A&T State University with my political science degree. Months later, I began working for my department at North Carolina A&T, doing some guest lecturing at the time. And it was while I was guest lecturing, I guess you would say I caught the political bug. And shortly later, I was offered a contract to be a adjunct professor teaching several political science courses. From there, while I was working for Rashad in the city manager's office as a management analyst, I then moved on to the planning and community development department, where I worked on a lot of grants as an admin support for. Working with Department of Energy, Department of HUD, and Department of Labor, working on grant management and compliance. From there, I went back to do schooling and received my master's, my MPA, Public Administration, through Capella University. After I finished up at Capella, I decided that it was time that we actually had a voice on city council and that we needed a youthful voice, providing a different perspective that I didn't see on council at the time. So I decided to run for city council. I ended up becoming the youngest ever elected in 2013 in Greensboro. From there, while I served on city council, I also went back and I started teaching in the high school. And I started out as a teen leadership as well as social studies teacher. So I did city council, I was teaching in the high school during my tenure, as well as being a college professor. During this time, I had the very gracious opportunity to meet my wife along this journey. And and meeting my wife, we decided to get married. At that time, I resigned from my city council seat and moved to Portland, Oregon, where I took a job in Portland Parks and Recreation as the property and business development manager. And that landed me with the city of Portland's mayor, Ted Willer, and as his deputy chief of staff. And that's what brings me here today to be the next city administrator in Camas. Very excited.
What a journey. Why Camas?
Camas for me Camas is poised for great things. They have great history, great parks, great people, great infrastructure, great partnerships. The school system is great. I keep hearing that more and more during the process, before the process. Being the third safest in the state of Washington. For my wife and I, we have a 14-month son, and we wanted a place where we can lay our roots and grow our family. And Camas was that community. We spent some time just driving and trying to get active a little bit through this process. And it just had that feeling, that family, small town family niche feeling. When you come into the community, when you talk to people, it just felt like home. And so this was a big decision for my wife and I and our family, but we're excited.
I'm excited as well. And again, the same what drew me as well. I think you're hitting all of those aspects. What are you looking forward to in this role? And I guess with the community as a whole, living here?
When I'm excited about in the organization, I'll start with that first. In the organization, there's a lot of strong, seasoned professionals, and I'm just looking forward to just join the family and bring my expertise and background and skills to help elevate and take Camas to the next level. As I stated, Camas is poised for greatness in the years ahead. There's a lot of great projects going on, from looking at the perspective about what we can do downtown to North Lake to making sure that we're protecting our natural areas, our lakes. Recreation is very, very huge for communities when we're talking about growing and continue that family spirit that we have. So I'm looking forward to take advantage of that. I look forward to mentoring the youth in the community. I'm looking forward to being on panels, talking, get to know a lot of people in the community, in the organization, as well as from the community side is building trust or rebuilding and strengthening trust to make sure that Camasonians believe in their government, that they have the same vision or the strategic vision that we create. They see themselves in that vision. That is very, very key as we talk about strengthening and continuing to build bridges and bring people together and have dialogue and have conversations about the future and where we can go as a community, and making sure that we have one vision, one voice, one community. We do everything in unison. And so it's very key that for me, I'm looking forward to bringing the organization in partnership with you, Mayor, and members of City Council and the community. How do we bring all those visions and mesh it for one vision, and making sure that I'm living up to what I said that I will bring to the community? I
love it, Jamal. What drives you?
The biggest thing that drives me is I'm a man of faith. So my religion drives me. My family and the love and support and encouragement from my wife, my mother, my mother-in-law, my family in general, and then my friends. If I had to put it, is the triple F. Faith, family, and friends is what drives me. And with the understanding and acknowledgement that my ancestors, I stand on their shoulders. And as I look at the community, as I look at my son, who's 14 months, I want to create a community that we can leave for the next generation that is way better than you and I and those who came before us, what we've created. So that's what drives me.
That's what it's all about. Jamal, I cannot wait to get you on board. I believe we have the 31st of August, I believe we have as a rough start date right now. But I'm so excited for you to get on board. I know the staff is so excited, the community is so excited, and we're looking forward to it. Thank you for your time today, and I can't wait to start working with you. Thanks, Jamal.
Thank you, Mayor, and I look forward to working with the community and the department heads and staff. It's going to be an exciting time, and we're going to take Camas to a whole new level with your leadership, Mayor. Thank you.
I love it, Jamal. Thank you. We'll talk soon.